Hello. Let's see, are you muted?
Okay.
There you are.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Okay, so you're hanging in there.
Good, good, good. How
Yeah.
was your week?
Um, it was good.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it was good. I'm feeling a little stressed. I'm feeling a lot of different emotions about work, about um come on up. Come on. Come here. Come say hi.
gonna join us. Uh,
I work, just health. I'm going in for surgery on the 26th.
for
They're taking out the implants, the reconstruction implants, and replacing them because the ones that are in there are linked to lymphoma.
okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be like a 4-week recovery too, and then
Well, I'm around too, so anything you need, I mean, you're gonna want and you're gonna need really good food and
yes.
lots of rebuilding for the tissue and just for you, whatever. So please don't hesitate to ask. I cook about 1 million meals a day, a week. I'd be more than happy to help you with recovery.
Okay, good, good. Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey,
Alexandra
Maureen.
Alexandra's going to be here. My sister-in-law is available, so everything's good. I mean, I have some anxiety, but I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be okay. Hello, Maureen.
Hi guys.
How are you? How was your week?
Challenging.
I think that's everybody's this week.
Yeah, between mom and then Frank, which of course you know, and I don't want to be the parent anymore. I'm done.
I know. I know. I guess this happens. This is definitely it's gonna, become I'm doing the same thing with my mom, which
Yeah.
she's nowhere near any of the state, but you have to take on that role. And it's very hard to fit into our schedules too. And we have to step back and say, like, all right, we have to share this now. Like it's now our turn, to
Yep.
you care for your kids and then you kind of go through and then all of a sudden now you're caring for your parents. So it's
Yeah. So
it's
I mean,
it's a
and
huge,
it's listen, I get it, and I put it all in perspective, and
yeah.
But I am sleeping better because I've learned how to decompress before I go to bed. I want to say
Yay.
that I have literally, I'm like, oh my God, this stuff works.
Yeah.
And I ordered an oil. I'm waiting for it to come in. I'm like so excited.
Good, 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 good. Every little thing you can do to help, and any of the practices that you really start to like really incorporate, the more you do them, the more you understand how they work and how beneficial they are, and then they become easy. Then they become your choice. Like then it becomes that's what you want to do because it is working and it's changing. It's just doing what you hoped it would do, and if you had only known, earlier, right?
Yeah, like 30 years ago, I should have listened to you. I'm just going to put it out there. Yes, no, I always thought I had to keep moving. And I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah, we were all on. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll give Allie 2 more minutes. So since we all kind of had the same week,
I was charger and move into the other room. So hold on just a minute.
Come to me. I was away. I drove down to North Carolina last week and stayed with Miranda, and then Katie came with unrelated sort of with her whole family. So we were all moving parts, and the sleeping part was easy because I got to sleep over at Miranda's. Katie had her whole crew over at another, but it's constant momentum.
Where's Katie now?
Katie is in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
So she's right above. If you go to Charleston, she's about an hour and a half straight up.
Good. So, I'll see more of you then.
Yeah.
And how's Miranda feeling?
How is she feeling?
Yeah.
Good. She's feeling, ups and downs. Wait, which one? Katie, you're
Miranda, with a baby.
feeling very good.
Good.
She looks fantastic. She had one morning out of nowhere where she just was getting sick again, but then it kind of went away. So then she was great the whole rest of the time.
And Katie's feeling,
Katie's
you're
doing
saying she's
better.
had her ups and downs?
Yeah, but now she's in her last trimester. She only has like 2 months left. So now it's just that end stuff.
Crazy.
Like,
Wow.
she's getting a little bit bigger and you're getting but she's doing very well too, really trying to like start to live the habits and do the earlier, later dinner, or being pregnant if she doesn't dinner, she's trying to do more in the day, really get to bed earlier. Getting her up in the morning some days if she doesn't have to do something is a little more difficult. But then she feels it. Then she feels she's waking up sluggish and behind that energy. And it's a real thing when you really start to take notice of it. So if we go back into our, habits, let's like start now. Allie can just join in when she gets, I know she had a few appointments after work.
Trying to hide from the dog. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, everybody's animals.
Yes.
We got to work today and there was 9 baby bunnies born this morning. 9.
No.
Got in, they were this big.
Oh my gosh.
Little tiny pink little balls, like just of skin.
How fun. How exciting.
Yeah, they were unexpected though, because 3 weeks ago, we had 3 bunnies that appeared like that were already 2 or 3 weeks old. They were buried in underground. And we found out that everybody was spayed, but the girl that we thought, she was the boy and she got so it wound up being, now she got
Oh my
2 girls.
God. Oh no, you get out of here. Get out. Go on. Sorry. I literally have been trying to, he got a new toy and one of them's loud. So I'm like, no.
Oh yeah, everybody gives those loud toys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they didn't come from me. Sorry. Okay, all set. Apologize.
That's all right. We're still
Okay, God. Quiet.
all right. So, all right. We're starting to move through these habits a little bit now, and now we're on number 4. Technically, like within, say there's a 10 habit realm, we're in number 4. Breath body practice, which is, in my opinion, this is like, this one is just a connection to like, this is the connection between, in the very beginning when we were doing the Ayurveda and we have those 5 koshas, we have those 5 bodies. The breath body really starts to connect all 5 bodies. But we'll get like further into that later. But so this week, now that we've gone through a little bit of the earlier, later dinner, early to bed, start your day right, we're starting a momentum going here. We're starting to add on to the pieces. So anyone want to speak on any of that we've done prior that have had struggles or like super wins, like this is really working, or anyone want to speak to?
I think the practice of having a heavy lunch or a substantial lunch, maybe not heavy, but a substantial lunch, and a lighter dinner has been really easy for me. I mean, it just feels so good.
Okay, yeah. Agree. You just feel that lightness, right, by the evening, and by like there's not that heavy digestion. And I don't know if you're feeling the same, but once you eat that earlier, lighter dinner, because you've had that nice substantial lunch, then the evening just feels so like light, and you can still do things, or you can, sit and relax or do something, or, just kind of.
It's not chaotic.
No, go for a walk, go do something. So it's it definitely is it's a more easeful evening.
Yeah, I will add that because I've been waking up every day before the alarm and awake. And I'm like, oh my God. It used to be like, I would be like, hit that thing 5 times, no lie. Like, no. And now I'm like, I'm up. Oh, I got 40 minutes. I'm going to go, and I go in the other room and I'll go like, have my little quiet cup of coffee or whatever. And it's just like, wow, I'm up. I'm good. Let's go.
Yep.
So yeah, that's been really good for me. Even on the weekends, I'm like, I can't believe
Just get up.
Yeah. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's made a huge, I mean, I've always been an early bird, but like even this week, I'm waking up at 4:30. Like I'm just waking up and I'm like, should I get up already? But the more you wake up in that vata time in the morning, when you wake up in the energy, you have that energy for the day.
Yeah.
When you wake
Yeah,
up
I'm in a good
later
mood.
in that more slow energy of the morning, you're going to carry that slowness through the day with you, whether
Mhm.
you really realize it or not. But when you oversleep, you kind of have that feeling for the rest of the day. You're kind of feeling like, oh, I'm just in that sluggish. But if you keep with that earlier, lighter, so that at night you're not trying to like, fit all this digestion in when you're really doing what the body wants to do, wants to clean house and kind of get ready. It really makes a huge difference. So good. I'm glad you're starting to feel a little bit of this, little of the benefit.
Oh yeah, I love it.
All right. So our breath body practice, this is in my opinion, again, like I said, this really kind of sets up. So when you're sleeping at night and your body's going through what it's doing, its changes and all that, and it's, detoxing and setting up, your blood flow is slower, your breathing is slower, your body function is stagnant, like you're really not doing anything. Your brain is moving, all that is going, brain is detoxing. But when you wake up in the morning, you're waking up into this stagnation pretty much. Like your body is coming out of its sleep state, but it's still really not moving. The breath body has not connected yet. So that's why instead of waking up and going like, right into your kitchen mode or going to do whatever on, what our routines used to be, right, for a cup of tea or coffee or whatever, it's more important to do our early morning or start the day right, like your hydration, get those cells, get some hydration in them, get the body going. Then after that, after you scrape your tongue and hopefully you hydrate and then eliminate, and then you're going to go start the breath body connection. When you start to breathe in first, I mean, I do this crazy, like I really breathe out that stagnant air from nighttime. And it's really a crazy little thing, but I literally like wake up in the morning and like my exhale is a huge exhale. I like a couple times get everything that you can out, like whatever's been stuck in there. And then you want to start really moving towards your breath body connection. You want that prana to start getting into your cells, but you want the blood movement and the circulation to your muscles and to everything. Here comes Miss Allie. Are we at the hairdresser still? I think Allie's getting her hair done.
Cool.
Woohoo! Okay, so in my opinion, that's why it's such a great awareness that instead of getting up and starting your day in that mode, grabbing the paper, coffee, tea, and all that, we want to get right into that exercise to move that prana in our body, get the cells moving, get the muscles pumping. You want to get oxygen to all your muscles. You want your blood flow. You want that exchange. So there's what I wanted to go into first, there is so BJ Fogg. So we're going through all of these habits, and come on, here we go. And BJ Fogg, who we've referenced to in many of the things, he's written books. He's the behavioral scientist. So he is like brilliant. He's had amazing results with what we're doing, like the habit triggers and all that we did in the beginning. So he wrote this really cool thing. And I just want to read this for a minute because our habits are usually not really easy to change, especially if we've been doing the same thing for 25 years and someone comes in and says, you have to change this and you're going to do that. And I want you to start tomorrow. You're going to be like, I don't think so. Not going to happen. But if we know that we can do this much of a change every single day, you're going to be like, okay, I can do that. Or I can figure out a way to go to bed 10 minutes earlier tonight. That's it. For 2 weeks, I'm just going to make 10 minutes. Or I'm going to move my dinner time. Say I used to eat dinner at 9. I'm going to move it back 15 minutes for 2 weeks. I can do that. That's easy. Or your your bigger lunch. All right. So maybe instead of skipping lunch, I'll bring soup and like make it so doable for you that you can't not do it. You don't immediately want to completely change everything because you're going to self-sabotage. And the motivation generally for most of the world, motivation, we're going to assume it's pretty low. Like we don't want to do things. When the motivation is high, that's when we want to kind of get on the ball and start going. So BJ Fogg writes, if you plant the right seed in the right spot, it will grow without further coaxing. I believe this is the best metaphor for habit changing, creating. The right seed is the tiny behavior that you choose, the tiny behavior that you choose. The right spot is the sequencing, what it comes after. The coaxing part, amping up motivation, which I think has nothing to do with creating habits. In fact, focusing on motivation as a key to a habit is exactly wrong. So trying to get someone motivated to change something they don't want to change is usually not going to work. So let me be more explicit, he writes. If you pick the right small behavior and sequence it right, then you won't have to motivate yourself to have it grow. It will just happen naturally, like a good seed planted in a good spot. So if we do this, if we set ourselves up for success by not biting off this gigantic thing, and we just put the right things in sequence for ourselves, we're going to make those steps. We're going to do that. We're going to plant the seed in the right spot and we're going to watch it grow, because total self-sabotage, like this gigantic motivation, like, yeah, you have to get up and do 10-mile run instead of let me just get up and go for a walk around the block. You have to start where something is doable. So I think BJ Fogg is great. I love him. So if you ever get a chance, you're really bored, pick up like James Clear, be really getting into the why habits work and why they don't work, and how we can help ourselves increase habit change rather than self-sabotage. And then BJ Fogg also has he says just what I just reiterated from him. When motivation is high, we want to do the hard things. So when you're really motivated to do some kind of a change, say it's a earlier, lighter dinner or something, have your vegetables prepped, have your meal plan, like take out your meal plan and say, start doing it then. Like when you really want to get something done, do the harder things or the things that are like monotonous or you really don't want to do. Do those on the days when you feel like you're really inspired to do some change, when you're really going to do something, do the hard things. So on the on those days, or say you're trying to do the earlier, lighter dinners, and normally it was your big dinner time. So maybe instead of bringing out your normal dishes that are like 15-inch plates, now we all have those big, beautiful plates, bring in a smaller 10-inch plate. So make the meal look the same size, but on a smaller plate. So you're usually going to eat a little bit less. Leave a little bit on your plate, like maybe stop a little bit before. So you're used to having those big dinners. Don't put the same amount on, but give yourself a reward. Like don't eat the last 3 bites. When you see that, you're kind of like, oh, look at that. I don't have to do that. Your food prep, your meal plan, like do those things that are going to help you, not on the days when you don't feel like doing anything, because you're not going to take out the meal prep. You're not going to write your grocery list. You're not going to take out that Monday through Friday, which I don't know if any of you have been thinking about that, but that really, in the beginning, really helps. I did it like kind of religiously in the beginning when I was really trying to, like, all right, so Monday through Friday, I'm going to really think, I'm going to take a grocery list to the grocery store, and I'm really going to get all these things in the refrigerator so that when it's time to do the prep, or if it's time to plan for, say, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I want to do something late in the morning or something, I don't have time to prep, it's going to be ready in the refrigerator first already. Maybe you prep your vegetables and have them, in bowls. And then another really good thing to do is when you're trying like not to snack and not to be that person who opens the refrigerator all the time, or if you're on the run and you want to make something fast and healthy, if you prep some of your food prior, or if you buy the right food, and say there's many people in your house and you want your food to be like ready so that you're not going to be tempted, always bring it to the front. Have all your food ready. Say if you open the door, maybe one side with all of your things that are prepped and ready to go, or if you want to grab, fruit or vegetables or granola or something, have it right there where you can grab it, where you're not going to be like tempted to look at all those other things and want to pull out, the easy processed or popped things that you can just take on. So have things set up and ready for you, kind of get yourself like your archetyping, like your steps, you're having things set up for yourself and doing the things earlier and set up. So those are just some kind of like easy things that I do that make things a little bit smoother and easier than having to think about what to do. What am I going to make now? What am I going to do? So those are on the other habits. Those are just kind of little things that we can do to help ourselves keep this going and make it easier. Earlier, later to bed, like I actually was taking my watch and I was putting an alarm on my watch because I'll come up to the office and I'll get back on. I'm not a television watcher usually. And I would have a 9 o'clock. So if I'm going to bed at 10, 9 o'clock, my watch was going off and I was turning my screens off. I was just shutting my screens down, taking everything. So if you need a little bit of help, set a watch or set your phone alarm to say, I want to do this at this time and I really want to do it. So you get that little alarm. I mean, we're lucky enough to have all this stuff right in front of us. Give us like little bits of alarm. Or when you leave that room, a key could be like, when I turn the light off, I'm going to go into the bathroom and do, get ready for bed and turn everything off. So give yourself little bits of habit cues that tell us to do things so that we can continue to do them easily. All right. So Allie, are you able to speak? Are you muted? You're muted, I think.
Okay, I'm here.
There you are. Okay. Nice hair, lady.
Thank you.
Woohoo. We went over in the very beginning, earlier, later dinner, early to bed, start the day right. Anything you struggled with or anything you have like anything really working for you or anything you want to share, or if not, you don't have to share.
Well, I tried upping my water game in the morning. So
and how's it working?
It's going. It's really hard to get more than 2 pints down my stomach. I really try. I'm kind of struggling with that because it's kind of a little gaggy.
Yeah,
but I'm trying.
You'll get there.
Watching the sunrise, which has been nice. I've been incorporating a few days of yoga, but some days I just sit here and kind of just drink my water and watch the sunrise.
Okay.
So I guess that I'm kind of having trouble with a little.
Yeah, that's a hard one for a lot of people to really get going. But we're going to get into that in a few minutes, and hopefully I'll give you a little bit of a way to set this up. Did anybody go into like the worksheets? Did anybody pull them up, like the workout charts and stuff like that? They came on in the PDFs, but you can do them after. We'll talk about them, and then I recommend going in, because what we're going to go through is going to show us kind of where we all, I'm sure, then this mindset of like, we kind of did particular workouts and things. And like when we found one we liked, we kind of stuck to it and almost did it 7 days in a row, like all the time. You get kind of hung up in your routine-ish, you want to call it. All right. And I don't know if you missed, so we just went through a little bit of BJ Fogg. I think you did hear that, but all right. So again, BJ Fogg, just happen to really like him. He has 3 tips for us when we're super motivated, highly motivated days. So you want to set yourself up, like we said, like kind of get things going, do your meal plan, whatever that is, set yourself up for earlier to bed things, whatever it is, kind of get yourself ready, give yourself cues or give yourself the way to do it. And then set a schedule. So whatever you're having trouble with and you're working on, so whichever habit it is, give yourself a schedule and really stick to it. The only way that the habit changes become easy is if you really try to stay up on and motivated, even if it's check marks on your calendar or something, but give yourself a schedule for if you're working on, start the day right, drinking your water, if it's earlier to bed, like if you're doing whatever you're doing, if it's hard for you, give yourself the schedule and really, really commit to it. And then number 3 was do the hard things that increase the habit to become easier. So the more you do the hard things on those motivated days, it just becomes easier and easier. And then the easy things are like a breeze. So if you start with the hard things on those highly motivated days, the entire process becomes easier. So again, super small, easy Kaizen. Give yourself the small steps to if you can accomplish little tiny bits, it becomes doable. And then the outcome at the end of the year, I think it's like 1% change every single day comes out to like a 35% change at the end of the year. So it's huge. All right, let me pull up. I have I don't know if I can screen share. I scribbled this down.
Are we, where are we? Like, are we on a
Yes.
page? Are we in a
Yep.
workbook?
This
Follow
was in the
along?
workbook. So this was in the body was in the workbook. And start the day right. I mean, the morning sequence is in the, I think that's in the habits book.
Okay.
So this was if you go into I think the habits, that was one of the assignments. And that was designing your morning practice, your big why, worksheet 1 and 2. And then it gets into is my practice effective?
Oh, yeah.
Those pages. And then it gave a quick morning yoga sequence, which is really cute. Little stick figures. So, all right. So this one, breath body, I don't know if anybody had a chance to go over any of the videos from Facebook. It had a couple of just the breath body. So the connection, if you do the pranayama, I love Dr. Vasant Lad. I think that was the last one. He's just such a wonderful man, but he gives it, he's the Ayurvedic doctor right from India and has lived it since he's a child. So he really truly understands the exchange between the prana, the life force, the air, into the body, into the cells for longevity of life, for aging, for just existence itself. But the main part of this is, of course, to wake up and do your breath body, but get the body moving. We're kind of in accustomed to either being that type of person that like wakes up like I would wake up, skip all the start the day right. I used to go for a big cup of coffee to either get me, going, which I really usually didn't need the going, but just habit, drank my big coffee and then would go for a run, but did that for like ever. And here I was, kind of vata pitta, but it was like that pounding or that same repetition of those hard on surface usually or on the streets, running, but it was a continuous. So if you can go back into really learning your dosha, like really, really figure out what your constitution is, and then we're going to go into these workouts. And I think the workbook has like a workout chart. It does. So it has a hard, moderate, and easy workouts, which we all should be kind of integrating into our weekly. So I wonder if I can screen share here my crazy drawing. Let's see if this works. Let's see if I can screen share. Here we go. How did I do this last time? Might not work. Yeah, it's trying, I think. Although I don't remember how to do it on this.
It's spinning.
It's just spinning, right? Mm-hmm. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cancel that. See if I can cancel it. Let's go into whiteboard. All right, let's just go back here. All right. It's not recognizing the new, all right, so I'm just gonna have to say it. What a bummer. All right, so there's workouts are super important in the morning. You want to get up and do whatever it is that is your workout. You want to get that it's super crucial to get the blood pumping. So last week we were talking after you wake up and you do your routines, say you just wanted to get into like some your yoga practice or get into even just jumping jacks, or if you run or if you're a biker, but you want to mix up your workouts depending on your dosha, which, you know, we're not really taught. We get into a sport and we kind of stick with it, or we come into a love of a sport and we kind of stick with that. So there's 3 kind of workouts, which you're probably all familiar with, but I call them, there's a hardening, a softening, and a cardio. So we have those 3. So hardening is strength training. It's hard. It's usually very like a real rigorous kind of a workout. It's very like weightlifting and CrossFit. Everyone, I can't hear you. Victoria, can you hear us now? There you go. I can hear. Can we hear you now? Did you mute yourself? No?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. That happened last time, right? We can hear you. Technology is so good until it goes. Okay. All right, she's gonna see if she can come back on. That was me last week. My computer died, so I took out my iPad. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, I'm on my iPad, but it's a new iPad and I had not set up like all of my worksheets and stuff on there. I'm like, oh, well, we're just going to go with it. At least I can see. She'll jump back on in a second. But I'm sure you're familiar. So here she is.
So can I ask a question with that? With
Yeah,
the
yeah,
heart?
absolutely.
So is it better for us when we wake up in the morning? Like, you know, so if we wake up and go, I was going to do weights, but today I feel like this. So we just go with what we feel?
Not necessarily. So that's what, so if after the call, if you go back into the sheets and stuff that were on there, so it goes through hard, moderate, and easy workouts. So most of the time, if you are waking up and you're feeling kind of sluggish or whatever, think about what you did the day before. And if it's something really important and it warrants an easier day or something, like say you already did something super physical the day before or 2 weeks in a row, or you were physically moving someone in and out of a house or something, yes, go to that. If it's just because you just don't feel like it, you don't feel motivated, then do the hard workout. I mean, you got to get that. Like we call it like the breath body practice is almost like non-negotiable. Like once you start doing this and you really start moving yourself in the morning, you can ask anyone now that's like in my little environment, it's a non-negotiable. I wake up and I do the morning practice and I get, you know, the oxygen going, but I don't skip a day of the 20 minutes. Like if I want to work out, like a real workout later in the afternoon, like go for a long hike with someone or go do something. It could be hard, easy, whatever. But I don't miss the 20 minutes in the morning is so crucial to get blood flow, get your muscles pumping and your brain. As you're exchanging the blood flow and the oxygen, your brain is waking up. And if you want to use your brain for the rest of the day, Or you say like, oh, I woke up and I didn't do this and I had like brain fog all day. Well, you probably woke up with a little brain fog and then you didn't feed it. Then you didn't change that. You didn't get out of brain fog. Or, you know, if you had a super stressful day the day before something, you want to get that out of your system, but you want everything to start exchanging in that 20 minutes in the morning. And it only has to be 20 minutes. So, and you want to move through. So there's hardening, softening, and cardio. And hardening again would be that weight training, that physical, that CrossFit, that like real hard. Even some yoga practices can be really hard, really difficult, where you walk away and you're like, you feel the muscles actually, you know, have been worked out. And then there's softening, and that's more flexibility. That's, you know, stretching things. That's more circulating. Like that gets things softer. You're integrating between your cells and your blood flow. And that's like more sensitive to the body, that like you can feel that like emotionally sometimes in a softening practice, like a yin yoga at night or something, or even in the morning, more of just a stretching yoga, just a flow. And then cardio, which is what we all know. So that's where you really are pumping your blood, your heart's exchanging, you're circulating that oxygen, you're getting everything moving, you're totally exchanging in the body. So those are 3 workouts that you want to incorporate every week, not every day. You want to, you know, change them up, but you want to get them in every single day. And it only has to be 20 minutes. 20 minutes seems to be like that. In Ayurveda, they say like if you really keep anything moving for 20 minutes within the body has enough time to break into each layer of the cells. You can get into all of them, into each cell's, like into its nucleus, and get into each individual. And then we're going to go into the energy types, which happen to be also be our dosha. So the energy types are the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Vata energy goes out. So that Vata energy is coming from in and going out in every direction. And then Pitta direction usually is that heat, that fire. Pitta is going up, like straight up, usually no directional changes, straight up. And then Kapha energy is usually that sticky energy, but it's going down. Kapha is downward and inward. So Kapha comes in and down. All right, so then mix it. Then you have the levels of workout: easy, moderate, and hard. So easy can even be something that is challenging, but you can do it like on an easier level. Moderate is kind of, you know, is self-explanatory. That's just middle of the ground. And then a hard workout is any workout that you do. It doesn't even have to be lifting weights or something. Even if it's a run, a bicycle, swimming, you could do it really hard. But sometimes, depending on your dosha, so say a Pitta person who is very, very high motivated, they are, you know, super focused, but they're very driven. So they're very competitive. If a Pitta person is constantly doing hard exercises all the time, and he's doing hardening exercises, you know, he or she, that's kind of where you set yourself up for injury. That's when the body doesn't get a break, and you're overdoing it too much with that mindset included in that equation. So a Pitta really needs to not do the hardening. That's hard workout on even like say hard pavement. It's too much on the body. Hard doesn't, you know, mix. So if you're a Vata, you want to mix in more easy. So a Vata is energy going out in every direction. So Vata are a real typical Vata is more like very tall, lean, or short and lean, but their muscle skeleton is the muscle and the skeleton are both very delicate and long. They aren't very bulky. They have small bones, small muscular system, just that very tall, thin, or tiny and thin. So they want to work more towards, and their energy is going in every direction. So they're going to really do more of like moderate and easy workout and more softening, because a Vata usually has that go. So maybe they're like the runners, the bicyclists, someone that keeps going. Like they don't really integrate any of the easier or softening exercises. And then a pitta person, you want to give that pitta who wants to do everything hard and really, go at it all the like 100%. You want to kind of encourage a pitta workout to be easy and moderate. They need to actually do it moderately. They need to keep that musculature going. They need to keep it forming, but you want them to soften a little bit. Pitta's got to add some cardio in, but they need to ease up and moderate along with, because they're always going to do the hard workouts. So they need to mix that in. Now a kapha, someone who is real kapha, especially in the morning and doesn't want to move and work out, that's the person or that's the type that really has to get it done. This is the super non-negotiable as well. More motivation needs to be put in place, and the kapha needs to do more hard workout, more cardio, just more, like they have to stick to it and they have to do it. Even on the days you don't want to do it, it has to be more, because the body is more stagnant and the system is always slower in a kapha. So you have to encourage that movement. It's going to take a little bit more for a kapha energy that's all going down. It's very grounded. It's very sturdy. It's very structured. So it really needs, there's not a lot of energy going up or out on a kapha. It's all coming in and going down. So it's super important for someone of a kapha to really get cardio, really get that really movement, constant. So if you were to have all that kind of in mind, picture what kind of a person you are, or what your morning is like, or what your normal typical mindset is on exercise. Then in the workbook, there is the hard, moderate, and easy workouts, ideas of it, but it also has a chart for you to do, which I started doing a few years ago. And I would just take out my calendar and I would write, H, E, or M for hard, easy, or moderate. And then I would actually write in, all right, I'm going to hike on these days. I'm going to do hard workout on these days, yoga or whatever. And I'm going to weight train in between. So especially for us right now in this call, women, as we're getting older, we really want to keep up on the weights. You don't have to. You're encouraged to keep doing, even if we have little 5-pound weights, but we have to incorporate them as many times during the week, even if it's maybe just 2 or 3 times during the week, because we want to keep mineralizing our bones, because as we get older, our bones are going to get more brittle. And if we're less kapha, if we're more pitta vata, then the bones themselves become brittle faster. A kapha is going to have a lot more lubrication. Their bones are going to be stronger. They're going to last longer than a pitta vata person. So vata pitta are going to have that dryness in their bones. So they're going to be brittle. That's me. My bones, like, and here fun, like they move in the morning, they crack, like everything you wake up in the morning, the cracks and the pops are going. That's primarily a pitta or a vata. A very high strung pitta is so fiery. They're technically like burning out the fluid between their bones and joints. A vata is so dry that the bones, the joints are just genetically dry. So more oils, the more we can eat oil and moist foods and incorporate our hydration, but really get the weight training in, even if it's little, just little couple weights, couple mornings, or in the afternoon, if you have a break and you just have, little dumbbells by your foot, or you have something heavy to pick up and work, any kind of a strength training you can do a few times a week is going to help us age a little more gracefully and keep that little bit of a body mass. Because I think, as we spoke probably back in the beginning, the Ayurveda section, each layer of tissue feeds the next layer.
Yeah.
And muscle is the tissue directly feeding bone. So the more we develop our muscle, as the muscle tissue grows, it's enriched nourishment then feeds the bone. And then the bone feeds the bone marrow. So your bone marrow and all that strengthening the bone and all that, that's last on the list. So as we really feed ourselves all the way through, we have to think there's 7 layers to get through as we get older to get down to number 6 and 7, which is our bone. Mm-hmm. So the weight building our muscle feeds the bone. So things like, we lifted as we were younger, and you have to kind of keep in mind, you can't over extreme, as we probably all did. Like I said, you get kind of into one. Like when I was in college, I was running. So we ran and we stretched. But then all of a sudden you get to college and they say, okay, now you're going to weight train. And we're like, okay, this is great. But you start to like it and you really start to get into it. And then all of a sudden I've got muscles like all over the place, but I was not doing the flexibility. I couldn't move. Like I had great muscle mass, too much. I was trying to run and trying to be flexible, which I was my whole life. And I was like this stiff board. I actually killed my senior year, the States at the end in track. I completely froze up. My muscles just took over and I had no flexibility left. So there has to be a balance. So if you can get a little bit of a chart, and again, 20 minutes is easy in the morning. Like once you get up and get to your mat or get your sneakers on and go, it's 20 minutes is over very quickly. But it's that importance of that exchange of that oxygen and blood and the cardio feeding all this, or, and then again, mixing it up. And an easy way to have this happen is we're going to archetype our steps by at night. Say we're going to go for a walk in the morning, a run in the morning, a bike. We're going to take our sneakers and we're going to put everything out, all of our clothes and our sneakers, and we're going to like put them right where we can't miss them. We're going to wake up and we're going to step over this stuff. Or say we want to hit our yoga mat at, the night before, roll your yoga mat out, put a little candle there, like kind of get your space ready. If it's a weight training day, wake up, have your weights ready, have everything. So you don't have to think about doing it in the morning, or you can't say, well, I'm not really ready, I'll skip it today. If you get everything set up the night before, you're already halfway there, because when you wake up in the morning and you look at your chart and you go, all right, it's Tuesday, I'm weight training. All right, it's Wednesday, I'm doing yoga, I'm doing a hard one. So you don't even have to think about it. There's no choice. You've done your little chart, you got it ready, you've done your hydration, you've eliminated, hopefully, you've got yourself, and you go right to the mat. You do a couple minutes of, your pranayama. So it's super important, like get the breath moving, like get that going, and then just go. Make it easy try it just for 2 weeks. All right, it's Tuesday and I'm going to do this. And then there's even like a little water chart. And then you have a smiley face, a sad face, or like how was the workout? Was it hard? Was it awful? Did it work? And then you start to see how easy it gets when there's no choice. And then in the afternoons, if you're lucky enough to go for a hike, or then you go for a hard bike ride or something, that's just added to it. But the morning is really, really important. And you'll begin to, takes a while, like nothing happens overnight, but you will see the energy you pull through for the rest of the day, the clarity in your mind, like you're thinking at work and everything is easier. Like, just you're able to like transition from like spreadsheets to like, mastermind thinking, like everything becomes, because you've started the morning with this flow of oxygen to everything that it needed to go to. And the brain fog is clearing out. Like you're setting yourself up for that day just to work out right. Like you even handle relationships, say you get into work and you haven't done a workout and you haven't hydrated and you haven't pooped and you just don't want to deal with anyone that day. It's like, leave me alone. I'm not ready for this today. Let's try this again tomorrow. So if you start the night before, take 5 minutes, get yourself ready, put your water out. Say, like I set my tea kettle up at night. I wake up in the morning, I come in, I'm on my way into the bathroom to scrape my tongue. I hit the tea kettle. It's on when come out, I drink my 30 ounces of water. I go down to the basement, my candle's ready, my yoga mat is ready, my weights are there on the floor. Like if I don't get up and go, it's almost like this big guilt ball hangs around my head all morning. Like, okay, everything's ready for you, just get going. So give yourself a little bit of a setup, like instead of floundering in the morning and saying like, I'm really tired today, I don't feel like doing anything. If you look at your chart and you did an easy one yesterday, okay, moderate or hard today. Like you're just, it's what it says to do. So you kind of, it's almost like having an accountability partner. If you just write it down and have it going, or the next best thing is really to have accountability partner. If you're meeting someone at 6 a.m. or if you're on a Zoom call to do yoga at 6 a.m., you're usually going to do that. But if it's just up to you, you could hit the snooze button, or you could say, I don't feel like it, and I'm going to have 2 cups of coffee this morning. But if you have something that's kind of making you accountable for it, like checking off that box, maybe next week we'll all go like this and go, look, we did our charts, no cheating. Then you actually have a little bit of a motivation to do it. And then writing the list when you're psyched, when you've had a really good day, maybe then do your workout chart for the next week, like really set it up, or do that meal plan that you didn't feel like doing, or set up all your spices in the kitchen, or get your computer ready to go to sleep at 9 o'clock. Whatever you can do to make it easier, or to set yourself up to have it an easier step the next day, the next meal plan, the next whatever you're doing. It just makes it easier, and it makes it doable. You actually will do it then. In the worksheets too that we had, it's in the Facebook that I sent out and the email. We have designed the morning practice, and it's just like a couple little cute little things you can write. And then if you give yourself, you always think about what you want. So think now, like, you want to age more gracefully. You want to wake up with more energy to handle your kids. You want to be able to design yourself for an easeful, aging process, whatever it is, what you want. Then you really have to clarify, why do you want it? Why is it so important that you do this? And you have to write that down. And you say, well, because I really want to lose 15 pounds by March 15th, or I really want to wake up in this time, by February 21st. Give yourself a real why, and then give it a time frame. And it's setting a schedule. It's setting something to actually accomplish, to achieve. And that's your big why and your when. So it's always what, why, and when, and be really specific. And it becomes achievable doing it that way. When you write it down and you really work on it, and then you give it like your metrics. You're giving it a time frame that you can see, like, it's going up. This is working. This is working. This is working. Goal setting. So, any questions? I know we're kind of going through a lot, but breath body practice. It's pretty much the non-negotiable. 20 minutes is not hard. So whatever it is you choose to do, or mix them up a little bit, see what works, see what doesn't work, see what you like. I mean, I kid you not, some days I dance. I literally go downstairs and I'm like, all right, I just feel so stagnant. I started this a while ago in the summertime, because I go out to my yoga hut in the summertime, and I'm out there with the birds, and all the birds are waking up, or somebody's making a tiny bit of noise in the neighborhood. So a couple times, Maureen, actually, I was thinking of you and I, this first time I did it, because it's dark when I go out there. So there was shadows. So we had this long wall in our apartment in college, and getting ready for the pub on Thursday nights, we would shadow dance. So we'd be all getting dressed, getting ready, doing our stuff in this long white wall. As the shadows hit and we had music going, we'd be shadow dancing. So I didn't feel like doing a super workout. So I started doing some jumping jacks and things, like I need stagnant energy. Well, yeah. Then I'm like, I'm just going to start dancing. Like, this is, so literally some days I literally just move old fashioned, like women used to dance. Other cultures dance. Women swing their hips. We sit in a chair all day, and then we stand up and do things, and we move. We're becoming very one motion, like almost motionless. Women don't dance anymore. Even kids back at our parents, they danced like every day after school. Children went to dance class. You moved your hips, like people moved in other directions. We're like monodirectional now. So it's really important to move our hips and our joints in directions we don't move them anymore, especially women. We were made to move in so one day a week, put on, when, nobody's watching you, because usually we're not, to do something crazy, like really dance, or move, what's that one thing, Zumba?
Yeah.
Like do something like that, where you're moving your body in crazy directionals. I call it functional movement now, where you actually get on the ground and move like animals. Like people roll, and then they jump, and then they crawl. So it's it's a big thing now, functional movement. But for us to just dance as women, sway your hips, really move, which again will get oxygen and will get blood flow to our bones to help us later in life not be so brittle. But mix it up, come up with some fun things to do that are out of the ordinary. Like back to like when you were a kid. Picture when you were a kid. I was thinking of this when I was watching my grandchildren the other day, and I was watching kids play. This one little girl came up to talk to her mom. So first she ran a couple steps. Then she did like 3 cartwheels up to her mom, talked to her mom as she was swinging her hands, moving her feet. This was all in a matter of 3 minutes. And then she went to go back to play with her friends. She did like 2 more cartwheels, jumped up a couple times, looked at her friends. The boys were up 4 feet up in a tree. Like as kids, you're never stop moving. We become adults, we sit at a day job, or we go here, we're stagnant. Our energy is very stagnant. So starting breath body practice in the morning, crazy movement, good movement, yoga especially is movement in every direction. But then during the day, if we have a day job, say every hour and a half, set a little alarm on your watch or your phone and just stand up and breathe. Do 2 jumping jacks. Allie knows at work she got me I have a trampoline because I sit so often that I get up now and I jump on the trampoline. Because I'm usually cold, but you get stuff moving. Do some jumping jacks, walk around your house if everybody's working from home. If you're at work, go outside for lunch, even if it's cold. Like start to do some movement. Get that prana moving in your body as many times during the day as you can. So little things like that we're not probably doing as we used to is really going to make a huge difference. And again, for us women, as we get older, we want to keep this momentum going. We really want to incorporate the easy, the moderate, the hard, the hardening, the softening, the cardio, like really mix this up every day without fail. I mean, you can start again, Kaizen it. If you don't work out at all right now, do a little bit, but do something for 20 minutes every morning, whether it's a little bit to start, a little bit of yoga, maybe some jumping jacks, maybe just a couple sun salutations, breath body. You can even just inhale, exhale, pranayama, just keep it coming in and going out and try to really stick to 20 minutes. But you'll start to get to the point where that 20 minutes is like, that's your lifeline in the morning. That just sets you up. So this one's a good one. This one's a really good one to try like all week and get on the forum and say like, oh, I did this today and it was really good, or I tried to do this and it didn't work. And then we can react with each other and kind of, implode, picho, give a little bit of back patting, give each other the thumbs up and help each other along. So, but let's try it. Let's try the 20 minutes every morning. And we can have fun. We can report in. But it's, and again, if you're just waking up and you're just feeling a little bit stagnant and there's no reason, like you're just that's just the morning you're having, those are the days you really want to kind of kick it up. Make yourself do it. And again, set yourself up at night to have everything kind of ready for you. Get your water ready. Or has everybody gotten a tongue scraper yet? Has anybody done the actual tongue examinations in the morning or like later in the day?
I just ordered my scraper, so.
Okay, good. Has anyone want to report on that? I have a couple good reports on that.
Meaning like what we're finding on our
Yeah,
tongue?
what you're finding.
Ooh.
Because now you're being aware, right?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been doing anything crazy, so it's pretty status quo right now.
That's good. So, and your status quo is kind of like a more healthy, because the tongue is you can't lie to your tongue. The tongue is gonna tell.
Yeah, I mean, like when I look at my tongue in the morning, it's always like, I don't know, like a little, I don't know, like there's a little coating on it.
Yeah.
But nothing crazy. Nothing ever too crazy.
And that's what
Yeah,
you want.
I haven't had a train wreck tongue yet. I which I hope I never have.
Yeah, that's, you know what, that's
But
really good. You want a
I
little
think
bit of
it's
a
normal.
coating. And you want to be really gentle when you tongue scrape. You want to be very gentle. You don't want to scrape. You want to just like pull. It's almost just like a pulling from the back forward, and of course rinse it out, and do it again and do it again. But for a while there, everybody was told like to brush their tongue with a toothbrush.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Like your tongue is supposed to have all of those little tiny endings and all of those. That's the beginning of digestion. You want to taste all 6 tastes in your mouth and your tongue, and you do not want to take all that beautiful flora off of your tongue. You just want to scrape that little bit of ama off. And then again, that shows, you know, if you've got a lot of mucus in your body, if you've got a lot of heat in your body, if you've got like you can even tell if somebody has a huge amount of iron in their body, like that real red brownness or something, like that's alarming. Or if it's green or yellow, or, you know, you really have to pay attention, see what your norm is, and then see, you know, any changes, pay attention to the changes. And if you have kids, make them stick their tongue out every once in a while. Let me see your tongue. Find out
So what
their
is this
normal
tongue? If JR has a red circle patch on his tongue.
Ooh, that's usually inflammation. If you go into the notes like way back, or I can send you one, there's a tongue chart.
Mm-hmm.
It'll have everything, like you see someone with a scalloped tongue, that's malnutrition. That's like malabsorption, rather.
Still on your tongue? Sorry. He just came out and stuck his tongue out.
Yeah, so you'll have all these different indications, and they'll show you, and it'll show you body organs on your tongue and the taste. And if you have an inflammation at that part, or if you have an irritation in that part or whatever, keep an eye on it and really look at it and go back to the tongue chart and find out, because it will show you what it's linked to, and it's usually pretty spot on. It's pretty funny. It really is an indication of what's going on inside the body. So check your tongue every day and become very familiar with what yours is, what your norm is. All right, so we're going to set ourselves up for tomorrow, for every tomorrow. And of course, because we've all had a nice early dinner and we're going to go to bed early, it's going to be easy. Choose a workout, kind of get your workout set up. Go in and do over the weekend, if you want, some of the sheets that were in there, write a couple in, give yourself a little bit of a chart. And we'll check in next week in the beginning and see how we made out with 20 minutes every day. And if you find some workout that's really great and you like it and you want to share, put it in the forum, and then we'll all try it. I have a bunch of the different YouTube videos. That's the easiest thing. Like if you just are clueless and you don't know what you want to do, just YouTube something and it will come up. Whatever you want to do, it will come up or somehow. All right, any closing thoughts? Any questions?
No, I'm just interested to see what my tongue looks like when this comes. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, so.
Good. Yep. Just again, be very, very gentle.
You can peek at it any day. You don't have to scrape it.
Look at your tongue every day. Find out what your normal is, and in the morning it should be still that beautiful pink skin, and there's a little bit of a white coating. That's pretty.
I've just never scraped it. That's why I was like, this gonna be interesting.
Be gentle. Remember, be very gentle.
I mean, I don't know. Am I doing, because I scrape a pass, because I just have like, it's like that. You went like that, like a shedder for a horse. I don't have that.
Exactly. Mine looks exactly like a shedder. So mine's a copper one, and it just looks like this.
Yeah, mine's just a little plastic one from Whole Foods.
Okay.
But so I do a pass, and I rinse it off, and then I do another pass, and I rinse it off. Right? That's good.
Yep. I do like 5. Generally speaking, you do like 5. Very gentle.
Well, I got time is of the essence in the morning.
Okay, that's all right then. If you
my
can
water,
do too.
I mean, I love all this stuff. I've got, like I've said, I've got my water. I've got my morning routine going. I have my nighttime routine set up anyway, like adding more to, like setting up a workout for myself on top of all the stuff I set up at night is slightly daunting. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I don't see myself pre-setting my workout up, but we can only hope. We can try. We can try for that. I mean, like between setting up the whole house, whatever you got to set up.
Everybody, right.
So
put
morning
your
is good.
mask on first, always.
What's that?
Put your oxygen mask on first, always. You're the nucleus of the house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Usually,
well, I don't know if, all the chaos that was going on behind, since I didn't have my other computer, I left it at work, and I left my phone at the hair place. I was like, oh shit, I have to get on the Big Mac. Like,
you with the telephone, but that's okay. That's all right. So, yep, we'll little, and don't make it overwhelming, not daunting. Little tiny bits, whatever. Just start with little tiny steps, whatever works for you, so that you do it.
Okay. All right.
All right, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. And hopefully we can share a little bit back and forth on Facebook, on our forum.
Good
All
night.
right, ladies, thank you very much.
Good night.